Hi everyone, thanks for joining me once again for another video. If you haven't been to my channel before, this is Thailand Bound. My name's Peter and I talk about all things Thailand. Okay, today I thought it would be interesting to run through the most popular questions that are asked on the internet about Thailand. So there's still a lot of people visiting Thailand for the first time. It may not crop up on their radar, but you know, with YouTube and all the videos that are out there, people will be searching for different kinds of videos and all of a sudden a Thailand video will pop up and that leads to more Thailand videos and people get really interested in it. I get it all the time. People say, I don't know how your video got onto my stream, but you know, I found it very interesting. I'm thinking about coming to Thailand. So I've done a bit of research and I thought, okay, if people haven't been out here before, what are the most common questions that they ask before they come to Thailand? So I've got a list of 15. I'm going to refer to my notes, and you know how I like to do videos. I'll read the bullet point out, then I'll talk a little bit about each point. Okay, so kicking us off, point number one is, do I need a visa to come to Thailand? Okay, visa requirements depend on your nationality, length and purpose of stay. Many countries have visa exemption agreements for short stay tourists. Okay, so Thailand is very, very actively encouraging tourists. They want tourists to come here, obviously spend money. It grows their economy. And, you know, they're not going to put up a lot of restrictions for people coming here to visit on vacation. Staying here a long time, that's a different matter altogether, working and all the rest of it. But people coming here, they want to spend a couple of weeks, maybe a month, bring the family and enjoy the time in Thailand. It's quite easy to get a visa. Well, actually, it's not actually a visa. It's called an entry stamp. So you don't actually get a visa, but you get a stamp in your passport that allows you to come in and visit the kingdom for a few weeks, enjoy your holiday, then leave and go back to your own country. So how difficult is it to get it? It's not. It's very, very easy. So for most countries now, if you come from a European country, the States, Australia, somewhere like that, you need to check all these details yourself. All the information's out there on Google. But it used to be 30 days on arrival. So you'd turn up, you didn't need to book a non-exempt stamp, as it were. You could just turn up at the airport and they gave you 30 days. Nowadays, that's been extended to 60 days. And if you want to stay out here for another month, you want to do 3 months out here, it is in fact possible to stay for a further 30 days, giving you a total of 90 days. So as far as visas go, most countries in the world, it's 60. But as I say, do your research, because there are some countries like India, for instance. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are other countries where it's restricted to less than 60 days. But it's still very, very easy for people from those other countries to come in and visit the kingdom. Okay. Number two, when is the best time to visit Thailand? So Thailand has a low season, it has a high season, and everything in between. So generally speaking, the best time to visit Thailand is December to March. The reason for that is because the weather is a lot cooler. It's still very, very hot. It never gets cold here in Thailand. Typically the temperature can be anywhere around 38 Celsius with a humidity level of about 82%. It gets very, very humid, and it's a wet humidity here. But during those months from December through to March, it does cool down quite significantly. The difference is you can go out to an open air bar in the evening at that time of year, high season, sit outside, and it's quite pleasant, and you might have a little bit of wind as well helping you out, and you can have a nice evening in an open bar. When you're looking at something like June, July, August, it's very, very hot. It's very, very uncomfortable. Just going outside, you know, you're taking 3-4 showers a day. You just constantly sweat. And I live here permanently, so I can tell you that's what happens with me. I'll go out to do some shopping. I come back, I've got to have a shower, stick my shorts on, and you know, I'm in the room. I might need to go out again, and it's another shower. It gets very, very hot. The only difference, the only other things you need to know about the weather really is the rainy season. They do have quite an intense rainy season here. It generally starts around April, May, so it's quite a long rainy season. And when it rains, it really pours, you know. So I wouldn't let that put you off coming to Thailand, but you just need to be aware that it is monsoon tropical rains. Okay. Number three, is it safe to visit Thailand? And the note I've put here, yes, it's generally safe for travelers. Popular destinations are well frequented and secure. However, it's advisable to stay informed about regional advisories. So just touching on this, safety in Thailand. As I've said in many videos in the past, I feel safer walking through Bangkok at 3 o'clock in the morning than I do in my own country at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's extremely safe, extremely safe. Crime does go on here, but the Thai authorities crack down very, very hard. Thais, committing crimes against foreigners, because they want that tourism. They want Thailand to be known as a very safe country, which it is. Looking on the other side of the coin, being a little bit negative, devil's advocate if I have to be, the only thing I'd say is scamming, like everywhere else in the world, does take place in here, and it's the old scams. The tuk-tuk driver who wants to take you to his friend's jewellery store, and he's telling you can sell these jewels in your own country and pay for your holiday. Those kind of scams. Or you'll go into a bar and they stick extra bills on, and you might not notice. So apart from the scams, generally speaking, Thailand is a very, very safe destination to visit. One of the other questions that isn't on my list, but as I'm talking about safety right now, I get a lot of comments from ladies who write into me and say, I'm a single lady, or I'm divorced, or my husband passed away. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. I'd like to visit Thailand, watching videos. It looks great. Is it safe for a woman to come alone? It's extremely safe. If you're a lady and you're watching this video, it's very, very safe. Obviously, you wouldn't do anything stupid that you wouldn't do in your own country, but it's no more dangerous here than it is in your own country, and I would say it's far less dangerous here. So if you're a single lady, a lady on her own, you don't have a male partner, yes, you should come to Thailand and visit. It's very, very safe. Number 4 on my list: what vaccinations are required before traveling to Thailand? Well, believe it or not, there isn't any mandatory vaccinations before you come to Thailand. Obviously, way back in the dark days when COVID was here, we had to have mandatory COVID injections. But other than that, the government don't stipulate, immigration don't stipulate that you have to show any kind of paperwork to say that you've had any vaccinations. Now, my advice on this is, yes, you should get some vaccinations. What I would suggest is you go to your local healthcare centre, your local doctor, just tell them, I'm going to Thailand for the first time. What do you suggest? And they'll suggest a bunch of vaccinations that you can have before you come out here. I've been coming out here for the best part of 30 years, and I've never had a single vaccination. And other than a cold and COVID, obviously, when that was here, I've never really been sick. I haven't caught anything. I've had some bouts of what they call deli belly, not going into it too deeply. I've had the runs and what have you. I've never got proper food poisoning out here. That isn't to say that you should be cavalier and just come out here and not take any injections. Of course, it's always better to err on the side of safety. And if you haven't been out here as well, your body can take time to adjust. And while we're on this subject as well, another thing I haven't got on my list: if you come out here, do bring some diarrhea tablets with you, because you will get the runs, because it's just such a different climate. It's different air. Obviously, the water's completely different that you're drinking. The food is totally different. Your body needs time to adjust. I've been living here now full time on my 3rd year. When I used to visit here frequently, when I came from the UK, for the first 2 days, I'd always have the runs, okay, always, and then it cleared up. And that was just because of a change of food, water, air, and all the rest of it. Now, there's nothing worse if you get the runs and you haven't got the tablets, so it's better to get the tablets before you get here, or at least buy them over the counter from a pharmacy when you're here. Keep them with you in your bag if you're a lady, your pocket, a couple in your wallet, guys, and if you do get the runs, then you've got some help on hand, rather than having to try and make it to a pharmacy while you've got the runs. That's not great, is it? Okay, number 5, can I use credit cards in Thailand? Well, yeah, you can. In urban areas all over Thailand, you can definitely use credit cards, debit cards. What's more popular right now is QR codes banking. A lot of people now are opening Thai bank accounts, even if they come here on vacation. It is possible to open a Thai bank account even if you're only coming here on vacation. If you need help doing that, the company I recommend is One Stop Visa, based in Soi 6 in Pattaya, Thailand. Mark and Pom, they can arrange that for you. There is a link in the description. So if you're only coming out here for a couple of weeks, or you're coming out here for a month and you're thinking, I wouldn't mind having a Thai bank account, it's a good idea to have a Thai bank account, because you don't have to carry cash around with you. You can transfer money from whichever country you come from into your Thai bank account. When you get here, the money's already here. If you don't use it, when you go back home, you can transfer it back from Thailand back to your own bank. But the real benefit is everybody in Thailand, everybody, including small food sellers on the street, the small carts where they serve pad thai and other dishes for 30, 40, 50 baht. They all have a QR code on their phone. I've got one on my phone, and basically you can just scan and you can pay. So As far as credit cards go, yes, you can use them in urban areas, not so much in rural areas, but the QR code is a better way to go with a Thai bank account. And it's something, if you're planning to come over here regularly, it's something you might want to seriously think about. It really does help you out. And of course, the bonus is you don't have to carry cash, and you're not going to come home with a pocket full of change like I used to do. You put it in a jar next to the front door, and when you go out, you forget to take it, and you come back with another bunch of change, and you end up with a big jar of change that you have to take to the bank. Number 6 on my list is, what is the transportation system like in Thailand? Okay, so as far as, again, urban areas, if you look at places like, for instance, let's start with Bangkok. You've got the MRT, which is the underground system, fantastic. You've got the BTS system, which is the overhead train, which goes all over the city. You've got Grab, you've got Bolt, where they can set the fares on taxi, so you don't have to worry about jumping in a taxi. The taxi driver won't put the meter on and quotes you 300, 400, 500 baht for a journey that would cost a Thai person 50 baht, okay? You can use Grab, you can use Bolt, you get a fixed fare. What's on the app is what you'll pay. They have motorbike taxis here because the weather is good most of the time. You can just jump on a back of a motorbike and they'll take you wherever you want to go. So the transportation in Bangkok is second to none. You've even got river taxis. You know, they have klongs, canals all over Thailand, and you can jump on a river taxi. You just need to learn where it's going, but everything's in Thai and English, and it's very, very easy to get around the city. As far as other cities go, songtails, if you don't know what a songtail is, it's a minibus with 2 bench seats in the back, a pickup truck I should say. They're called songtails, or commonly known as BART buses in Thailand. They have those in most cities, but when you go more rural, again, it might be a little bit more difficult to get transportation. But if you do go rural, you can always rent a small scooter, a Honda Click or a Honda Vibe, something like that, for a couple of $100 baht a day. So getting around in Thailand is a very, very easy affair. It's not something you need to worry about, okay? And if you come with a family, to rent a car, you're looking at about maybe 8,000, around anywhere between sort of 8,000 baht a day, maybe less. That does seem quite expensive. You'd need to, I've never rented a car, I own a car here, so you'd need to do your due diligence and really do your research before you go ahead and rent for a week. I know people who rent cars, they come here on vacation, they rent a car for a week and they go all over Thailand, so that's another good option. Okay, number 7 on my list is it customary to tip in Thailand? Well, if you ask any expats out here, they'll come out with a standard answer, and that is Thais do not tip. It's an expat thing. Now, whether that's true or whether it's not, I'm not going to debate it here because I'll get lots and lots of comments with people arguing with me, and that's not what I want to get into today. But generally speaking, as a foreigner, the Thais, let's just say they do like you to tip. I made a little short video recently about service charges, something that shocked me that I didn't know about. Now, you know when you go into a restaurant or a bar and they have a 10-15% service charge on the bill, you'll get your bill and there's a 15% service charge. Here the VAT is 7%, so 7% VAT tax. And in Europe and most other countries, the service charge goes to the staff, or at the very least, 50% go to the staff, 50% go to covering breakages and losses in the restaurant. Here in Thailand, what you'll find a lot of the time, I'd say 98% of the time, you'll find that the owner keeps that service charge, okay? So when you go into a restaurant, you see the service charge and you think, well, they've had the tip because it's on the service charge, so I'm not going to tip them. Actually, they probably don't get that. The chances are they don't get that. And the average salary for a Thai general, like a waitress, a waiter, a 7-Eleven worker, even in a city like Bangkok, is anywhere between 9 and 11,000, maybe 12,000 for a supervisor. Let's say on average 10,000 baht a month. That's the salary. Now you work that out in dollars and pounds. It's not a lot of money. It's about 250 pounds a month, $300 a month. So those tips go a long way to helping those people, and they work very, very hard, and they deserve them. I always tip wherever I go, even if there's a service charge. Even if it's 20 baht, it helps them out. If everybody tipped 20 baht, their salary would be a lot higher, okay? Right, moving right along, we're going to go into my number 9, I believe it is right now. So one of the questions that people get asked very, very often is, what are the accommodation options in Thailand? Is it just 5-star hotels and then flea pits, or what is there on offer? So the great thing in today's modern world, we have the internet. We have booking sites like Agoda, Booking.com, Airbnb. You can find everything on there. So it's not something I want to get into in a big way on this video because you can research that yourself. The only thing I'll say on it is the accommodation is fantastic at every level. When I first came here 30 years ago and I went down to Pattaya, 70 to 80% of the smaller hotels, you could choose between a room that had air conditioning or a room that just had a fan on the ceiling, which was about half the price. Those days have long gone now. Everywhere has air conditioning. You might find the odd student accommodation, a hostel, I would say, that might not have aircon. I can't imagine it in this day and age, but just for those people who like to leave comments and prove me wrong, there might be the odd place that doesn't have air conditioning, but generally speaking, everywhere has air conditioning. Perhaps some of these kind of thatched roof bungalows on the islands, if they still have them. Been a lot of years since I've been to some of the smaller islands. I was recently on Koh Samet. They're all brick buildings, but in the old days it used to be kind of thatched bungalows. Maybe one or two of those don't have air conditioning. But in answer to the question, what's the accommodation like? Brilliant. In every level, monetary wise, you'll find what you're looking for. Even the budget hotels are extremely high quality with air conditioning. They're cleaned every day, fresh sheets, towels. You won't be disappointed. And you can get a good hotel here. If you're looking for a budget hotel that's air conditioned, you can get a pretty good place for anywhere between 800 and 1200 baht. It's basic, but it'll be clean and comfortable if you're on a bit of a tight budget. Okay, right. Another one of the biggest questions that gets asked here for people who have never been to Thailand is, what should I pack for a trip to Thailand? And my notes, I put lightweight clothing suitable for a tropical climate, comfortable footwear, sunscreen, insect repellent, and any necessary medications if planning visiting temples. Pack modest attire, blah blah blah. So let's get into that a little bit more. Right, something you need to know first of all: some suntan lotions here in Thailand are banned because they affect the coral. Damaging the coral, rather, I should say. But there are, they do have Boots here, they do have Watsons here. People speak English in those outlets, and you can, not so much the smaller pharmacies. If you're looking for a sunscreen that is legal that you can use here, then I would really recommend going into one of the major chains like Boots or Watson and just asking the staff there which sunscreen, sunblock can I use in Thailand legally, and I won't have any bother. And that way they'll give you the correct one. If you bring one from home, be very, very careful. You believe it or not, you could actually get arrested for using the wrong sunscreen. What else should you bring with you? As far as medication goes, most things you can buy over the counter here. I'm on 4 prescription drugs. I have a statin to bring my cholesterol down. I can buy that over the counter. A reflux, I get acid. I've been on that for 25 years. So various bits and pieces, nothing too serious, but you don't need to go and see a doctor. You don't need a prescription. So if you come from your own country and you forget your medication, you can buy that over the counter, any pharmacy. There's a few things that you can only get from hospital, but if you did forget something, then you could go to a local hospital and just tell the doctor and they would prescribe it for you. So, you don't need to worry about that. As far as clothing goes, it's a very, very hot country. Obviously, light clothing is in the order of the day. You might want to go out to a very nice formal dinner in a posh hotel, like an upmarket hotel once while you're here to celebrate something. In that case, I would just suggest for the guys, pack one pair of long trousers, a nice short sleeve shirt, and for the ladies, maybe one dress that you'd wear out in the evening. Other than that, it's all casual. It's shorts, t-shirts. For the ladies, same sort of thing. Very loose-fitting clothes and very thin. The only other thing you need to respect is if you visit temples, you need to dress very respectfully. Okay, ladies, that means you need your knees covered, shoulders covered. Guys, you can't go into a temple wearing a flip-flops and a singer vest. It's just not done. People will try and sell you overpriced clothes outside the temple, so just pack some decent gear before you come out here. Okay, right, we're getting through the list now. What are the must-visit attractions in Thailand? Well, to be honest with you, there are so many in Thailand. I've listed a few out here. Popular destinations include the Grand Palace. That is a must-see, especially at night. It's lit up beautiful. You can't go in at night, but it's worth a visit just to see the outside of it. Chiang Mai's temples, Phuket's beaches, Ayutthaya's ancient ruins, the first capital of Thailand, Ayutthaya, and the stunning islands of Koh Samui, Koh Phi Phi. But actually, there's so much to do here. And if it's your first time here and you think, oh, I don't know Thailand, where am I going to go? Every hotel has a kind of tour section where if you go up to reception, you say, look, we want to do some tours, we want to go somewhere nice. The receptions can point you in the right direction. You can hire for a very low price. You can hire a minibus and a driver for the day to take your family to maybe 2 locations. You can go down to the Mekong Railway. That's a railway that's been there for a long, long time. The train comes through and all the stalls go back. That is a must-see. I've been down there. It's I think it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours drive from Bangkok. There's some great markets, floating markets. There's so much, actually. There's too much for me to get in depth, but that's something when you get here you can inquire. And again, there's a lot of things on Google. I wouldn't go so much. You see taxi vans on the street here, and they have big posters on the side of the vans. They just park there and they've got pictures of everything where they'll take you. Those guys can kind of be a little bit expensive and charge prices that are kind of over the top. I wouldn't really deal with them. I would deal through the hotel, which is very, very reasonable. Is it easy to get a SIM card and a mobile internet in Thailand? It's extremely easy to get online. The good thing about Thailand is every hotel, every bar, every restaurant, the internet speed here is surprisingly fast, much faster than I used to have in the UK in my home, because we still had copper wires coming down my estate. Every bar you go into, you can set if you go somewhere regular, a restaurant or a bar, you just set your internet to remember to automatically log back on if you go back into that restaurant. They put their username and password on ashtrays or things that are on the table. So as far as getting online just to do a bit of surfing, you can hook on everybody's internet here. But if you need your own SIM card, if you need your own SIM card, you can get them from 7-Eleven, you can get them at the airport. They do packages, daily, weekly, monthly, unlimited, limited. There's so much to choose from, but you cannot go anonymous. You must register SIM cards now. The Thai government are trying to crack down on crime. They want to know who's coming into the country, who's registering these SIM cards. So you will have to show your passport, perhaps have a picture taken at the airport like I did, and then you can get a temporary SIM card. If you're not doing anything wrong here, there's nothing to worry about. Can I drink the tap water? No. When you come here, don't drink tap water. It's unsafe. It's not clean enough for drinking. You can brush your teeth in it. You can shower in it, obviously. You can't be expected to shower in mineral water. You shower, you brush your teeth, you use the water from the tap for everything. It's clean, it comes out clean. But as far as ingesting it and drinking a large amount, I wouldn't risk it. I've accidentally drank on several times a cup of tap water. I've come here from the UK on vacation on my first day, and I've woke up, I'm not quite with it, I've brushed my teeth, I fill a glass of water without even thinking, I've drank it, I put the glass down and thought, oh no, I've just drank untreated water, thinking I was going to have the runs for the next week, and nothing happened. I was lucky, but that was just luck. So generally speaking, mineral water is sold everywhere. It's dirt cheap. You can get it for as little as 5 baht for a bottle, a reasonable sized bottle. A big bottle is like 20 baht. Again, you can work that out in your own country. How do I stay safe from scams in Thailand? Be cautious of over-friendly strangers offering unsolicited help, gem scans and overpriced tours. Always verify prices and stick to reputable businesses, which is what I touched on the point with the tours there. Yeah, if you get somebody come up to you and they're extra friendly, the Thai people are very, very friendly. It's called the land of smiles for a reason. You smile at a Thai, it's very, very unusual for a Thai not to smile back at you, okay? Very, very friendly people. They'll go out of their way to help you. But unfortunately, like every country in the world, there are unscrupulous Thais here who are out to scam, and foreigners can sometimes be seen as easy targets. And they use little lines just to engage you in conversation. I remember years ago, I was down on Carlson Road with a friend, and I had a what we call in the UK a rucksack. I think it's called a knapsack in the US, a bag on my back, and I had some trainers, and I could see a guy in the corner I wasn't looking, I was going this way, but I could see him over there with a woman. They were kind of scanning the area. They seen me with the bag on and thought, oh, here comes a tourist. And the guy casually walked up just as if he was kind of crossing my path. And he says, as an excuse to speak to me, he said, oh, I love your trainers. Where did you get your running shoes from? And I kind of ignored him and walked on. So if something looks too good to be true, I know it's a cliche, but it normally is. I don't normally buy something. I don't normally go with people who tell me about such a great deal. If I want to instigate a sale or something that's interesting, I'll do that myself. I won't listen to people. So when you're here, if somebody comes up to you and they offer you something, they offer to take you on a tour, no, you don't want to do it. If you want to go on a tour, go and see the hotel, organise it with them. Right, we'll come right up to the last point. What is Thai street food like, and how safe is to eat? My notes: Thai food is delicious, affordable and diverse. Look for busy vendors with high turnover to ensure freshness. Avoid stalls with food sitting out for a long time, which is common sense, I practice this myself, not only with food stalls, but with any restaurant I go to. If I'm out and I fancy something to eat from a restaurant and I see an empty restaurant and the staff are sitting there and there's one guy outside with a menu trying to entice you in, I won't go near it, because what it means is a hot country. If they've got meat in the back, it's probably sitting there. You don't know if it's refrigerated. If there's a lot of people, there's a high turnover, then everything's going to be fresh, or as fresh as you hope for. On the subject of food carts, a lot of people, it's a great cheap way to eat, and if they have a high turnover, like generally anywhere around Sukhumvit, Ceylon, those sort of areas where the Thais are eating, they do have a high turnover. The food is fairly clean. But again, if you're coming from Europe or America or Australia, somewhere like that, and you know, our stomachs are kind of, they're not as used to this kind of food like the Thais are. My stomach is actually toughened up now. I can generally eat anywhere. I eat street food occasionally because it's cheap and it's convenient. It takes 2 minutes to meet. You'll be hungry, you see it there. I'll have some noodles with pork and it's 2 minutes and 50 baht and you're done. I generally don't get the runs or anything now. But if you're coming over, as I say, on vacation and you're not used to it, I would say it would be nice to try some street food, but just be very, very cautious. As my notes said, if the food's been sitting there for a long time or you don't see people lining up to get the food, give it a wide berth, give it a miss. If there's plenty of Thais around there, and they normally have these metal tables around and people are sitting there eating, and yeah, give it a go. It's a good experience. It's what's coming to Thailand. Coming to Thailand, it's what it's all about. I mean, if you're going to play so safe, then why leave your front door in the morning back in the UK or wherever you come from? You might get run over by a car, right? What's the point? You're coming here for an adventure. It's a great country. Take it for what it is. Enjoy it, and you have to take a little bit of risk just to have that fun. Okay, right, that's it from me today. I hope these points have helped out. They're as I said at the beginning, the most asked questions on the internet for people coming out here for the first time. Now, if I've missed something out or you want to know something about coming to Thailand, something you're not sure about, as long as it's not war and peace, if you want to ask a question in the description below, leave it in the comments. I reply to all my comments, all emails, messages. I reply to everybody. It takes up the bigger part of my day, but that's just me. So if there's something I've left out, drop it in the comment, let me know what you want to know, and I'll get back to you. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for listening to me. I'll be back with another video real soon, and as I say, I hope this video helped you. Thanks a lot, guys.